The power of one bold decision has the strength to change everything. History is built not on hesitation, but on the moments when someone chooses to act while others wait. When someone steps forward while the rest stay in the shadows, that is the moment when destiny is rewritten. A single bold decision is like striking a match in a dark room. It lights up everything. It forces the world to see what was once hidden. And when that decision is backed by courage, discipline, and vision, it does more than create change. It shakes the very foundations of power. Most people think greatness comes from long, slow movements over years, but the truth is that it is often one powerful choice that defines an era. It is the choice to stand up when the odds are against you. It is the choice to face giants without flinching. It is the choice to risk what is comfortable for what is right. That one decision becomes a turning point, a line drawn in history that people will never forget. When India made its bold move, the world was forced to stop and pay attention. It wasn't just about strategy, it was about courage. It was about refusing to bend, refusing to break, and proving that strength lies in daring to act. A bold decision carries weight because it is not made lightly. It requires vision to see beyond the fear, clarity to recognize the opportunity, and strength to execute without hesitation. That is why most people never dare to make it. They stay safe, they stay quiet, they wait for permission. But history does not remember the ones who stayed quiet. It remembers the ones who shook the ground with their choices. Boldness does not come without risk, but risk is the price of progress. Without risk, there is no respect, and without respect, there is no power. Think about it, the bold decision is not only about politics, business, or nations. It applies to life itself. Every individual faces the same test. Do you stay in the comfort zone, or do you take the step that terrifies you but also has the power to transform you? The bold decision may cost you in the short term, but in the long term, it builds your legacy. It earns the respect of those who once doubted you. It proves that strength is not measured in words, but in action. When India shocked the world with one move, it reminded everyone of this eternal truth. Never underestimate the force of one bold decision. It showed that courage outweighs fear, that action speaks louder than hesitation, and that strength lies not in waiting, but in moving first. And the same is true for every person listening. You hold the same power in your own life. One choice, one move, one bold decision can change everything. It can redefine who you are, it can inspire millions, and it can shift the balance of power in your favor. That is the true power of one bold decision. Discipline over doubt is the foundation of true strength. Doubt is a voice that whispers in your ear, telling you that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that you should wait for the perfect moment. But discipline is the voice that cuts through the noise and says, do it anyway. Every great achievement in history has been born out of discipline, not out of waiting for certainty. Those who wait for doubt to disappear never act. And those who act with discipline in spite of doubt create results that shock the world. The truth is that doubt will always be there. It will follow you before every challenge, every risk, and every bold move, but discipline is the weapon that silences it. Discipline says, I will show up no matter how I feel. It says, I will push forward whether the world believes in me or not. It says, I will do the work even when the reward feels far away. This is what separates the ones who dream from the ones who achieve. Doubt is easy, anyone can doubt, but not everyone has the strength to be disciplined when the odds are stacked against them. India's move that shocked the U.S. was not built in a single day. It was the result of years of consistent discipline, of preparing, planning, and positioning without waiting for permission. While the world questioned, India stayed focused. While critics doubted, it stayed disciplined. That is the secret to shocking the world. Your actions must be built on a foundation that doubt cannot destroy. One disciplined step after another creates the momentum that doubt cannot match. Doubt delays, but discipline builds. When you think about your own life, the lesson is clear. You cannot wait until you feel confident. Confidence is the reward of discipline, not the requirement for it. You must act before you feel ready. And the only way to do that is by disciplining yourself to stay committed to the process. Whether it's training your body, sharpening your mind, or building your future, The same truth applies. Discipline will always take you further than doubt ever will. Discipline is not glamorous. It's waking up when you'd rather sleep. It's showing up when nobody else does. It's saying no to excuses and yes to consistency. But in the end, discipline creates a power so unshakable that doubt cannot survive in its shadow. Nations are built on it, leaders are defined by it, and champions live by it. India proved this by showing that when you put discipline over doubt, you don't just compete, you dominate. The lesson for you is this: doubt may knock at your door every single day, but you don't have to answer it. Instead, you answer the call of discipline. You keep moving forward, you keep building, and you keep proving that strength is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to let fear stop you. Discipline is the key that unlocks greatness. And when you choose it over doubt, you choose victory. Pressure is something that breaks the weak but builds the strong. It is the weight that life puts on your shoulders to see what you are made of. Most people see pressure as a burden, as something to run away from. But the truth is that pressure is the very thing that shapes greatness. Just like muscles grow only when they are pushed against resistance, people and nations rise only when they embrace pressure instead of hiding from it. If you want to become unshakable, you must turn pressure into strength. Pressure is not your enemy. It is your test. It is the voice asking, how badly do you want this? How much are you willing to endure? Without pressure, there is no growth, no transformation, no breakthrough. Every time you face a challenge, you are given two choices: to fold under the weight or to use it as fuel. The ones who rise to greatness are not the ones who had an easy path. They are the ones who carried the heaviest loads and turned them into stepping stones toward victory. When India shocked the world with one decisive move, it was not a result of comfort or ease. It came after years of handling pressure, standing tall under the watchful eyes of critics, doubters, and global powers. Every action was under a microscope, every decision judged. Yet instead of bending, India turned that pressure into a weapon. It transformed criticism into focus, expectation into energy, and doubt into determination. That is why the move was so powerful. It was not born out of fear, but out of the strength that pressure had forged. You must apply the same lesson in your own life. Pressure at work, in your dreams, in your struggles, it is not there to crush you. It is there to test your resilience. When you feel the weight of responsibility, don't run, stand taller. When you are challenged, don't complain, rise higher. When the world doubts you, don't prove them right by folding. Prove them wrong by using the weight to become stronger than ever. Pressure is like fire. It can burn you or it can forge you into steel. The choice is always yours. There is no greatness without pressure. Diamonds are created only under extreme pressure, and the strongest leaders are built in the same way. Those who fear pressure remain ordinary, but those who embrace it become extraordinary. When you learn to turn pressure into strength, you stop fearing challenges. Instead, you welcome them, because you know every ounce of weight that life places on your shoulders is another chance to grow, another chance to sharpen your edge, another chance to rise above the rest. Pressure is inevitable, but weakness is optional. You can either let pressure control you, or you can use it to become unstoppable. The moment you shift your perspective, pressure stops being something you endure and becomes something you harness. That is the mindset that creates leaders, nations, and legends. And if one move under pressure can shock the world, imagine what your life could become if you learn to carry that weight with power and turn it into strength every single day. Respect is not handed out like a gift. It is not something you can demand with words or titles. Respect is earned through action, through consistency, through the strength you display when the world is watching and when no one is watching. People may hear what you say, but they will always believe what you do. That is why respect cannot be taken. It must be proven. And once it is earned, it becomes unshakable. Too many people think respect comes with position, money, or power. But true respect doesn't bow to symbols. It bows to strength of character, to resilience, to the courage to act boldly when others hesitate. Respect is built brick by brick through the choices you make when it would be easier to quit. It is built when you stand up for what you believe in, when you endure hardship without complaint, when you refuse to back down in the face of giants. That is the kind of respect that lasts. India's bold move that shocked the U.S. was not just a strategic play, it was a statement of respect. For years, critics questioned its resolve, doubters underestimated its influence. But when the moment came, India didn't ask for recognition, it seized it. Respect was earned not because it demanded it, but because it acted in a way that could not be ignored. The world had no choice but to acknowledge strength, because strength always commands respect. The same principle applies to your life. No one will respect you simply because you want them to. You earn respect through discipline, through sacrifice, through the willingness to do what others will not. Respect is not built in the comfort zone. It is built in the moments of struggle, when you keep going despite the pain, when you refuse to bow to doubt, when you choose integrity over shortcuts. Every small act of consistency adds to your foundation, until one day people look at you and say, "This person has earned my respect." And make no mistake, respect is power. It opens doors, it commands attention, it changes the way people see you. But it is not something you can fake. If you try to take shortcuts, if you try to pretend, the truth will always come out. Real respect comes only from authenticity, from proving yourself in the arena of life. Just as nations earn respect on the world stage, individuals earn respect in the arena of their own battles. So do not waste time asking for respect. Do not beg for it. Do not expect it to be given. Instead, work for it. Live in such a way that people have no choice but to respect you. Show up when others don't. Push harder when others stop. Speak through your actions, not your words. That is how respect is earned, and once it is yours, it can never be taken away. The world respects strength, discipline, and courage, and if you embody those, respect will follow you everywhere you go. The underdog is always overlooked, doubted, and underestimated. People see the underdog and assume weakness, assume limitation, assume defeat. But what they don't realize is that being underestimated is the greatest weapon you can carry. It gives you the element of surprise, it fuels your fire, and it forces you to dig deeper than those who have already been crowned as favorites. The underdog has nothing to lose, and that makes them dangerous. That makes them unstoppable. History is filled with stories where the underdog rose against giants. Every time the world thought it knew the outcome, someone from the shadows rewrote the script. The difference is hunger. The underdog fights not with entitlement, but with grit. They do not rely on the comfort of reputation. They rely on resilience. They are pushed by doubt, but instead of breaking under it, they turn it into power. That's why underestimating the underdog is always a mistake, because hunger and determination can crush arrogance and comfort. India's bold move that shocked the U.S. is proof of this principle. For decades, it was seen as a follower, not a leader. For years, the global stage underestimated its strength, questioned its influence, and doubted its ability to stand tall against the giants. But then came the moment when the underdog struck, and the world was stunned. That one move flipped the narrative. It was no longer about being overlooked. It was about demanding recognition through action, and that is the power of the underdog, to rise when no one expects it, to achieve what no one thought possible, to prove every doubter wrong. The same truth applies to your life. People may underestimate you right now. They may laugh at your dreams, dismiss your goals, and tell you that you are too small to make an impact. But remember, every champion was once an underdog. Every giant was once underestimated. The question is not whether others believe in you. The question is whether you believe in yourself enough to fight. When you embrace the role of the underdog, you stop chasing approval and start chasing results. Being underestimated is not a curse, it is fuel. It gives you a chance to build in silence, to prepare while no one is watching, to train harder, to focus sharper, and to strike when the time is right. The underdog does not need the world's validation, because their strength is forged in struggle, not in applause. And when the time comes, their actions roar louder than words. So never underestimate the underdog, and never underestimate yourself if you feel like one. Being the underdog means you are hungry, you are driven, and you have something to prove. It means you are not weighed down by entitlement, but lifted by determination. Giants can fall, favorites can lose, and the underestimated can rise to dominate. The underdog is not weak. They are simply waiting for the moment to shock the world. And when that moment comes, they remind everyone of the most important truth. Strength is not about where you start. It is about how far you are willing to go. One move has the power to change everything. One move can shift the balance of power, rewrite history, and redefine how the world sees you. Too often people believe that change requires thousands of steps, endless years, or massive resources. But the truth is that transformation often begins with a single bold decision, one move that others were too afraid to make. That is the move that changes the game. The world is full of players who sit on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for certainty, waiting for permission. But the game doesn't change for those who wait. It changes for those who act. The moment you decide to take that step, to make that move, you alter the course not just of your own life, but of everything around you. The power of action is far greater than the illusion of safety. One move can do what years of hesitation never will. India proved this truth when it shocked the US with a single strategic move. It wasn't hesitation. It wasn't playing it safe. It was boldness in action. The world was watching, and instead of shrinking under the pressure, it stepped forward and made the play that no one expected. That one move forced the world to rethink, to reanalyze, to recognize that the game had changed forever. It was a reminder to every nation, every leader, and every individual: your move has power. Don't underestimate it. In your own life, the same principle holds true. You may think you're too small, too inexperienced, or too far behind to make a difference. But the truth is, the game is never fixed until someone makes the move that changes it. One conversation, one decision, one risk, these can alter the trajectory of your entire future. You don't need to do everything at once. You need to do the one thing that others won't. That's how you shift the momentum in your favor. Your move can inspire others. Your move can silence doubters. Your move can open doors that seemed permanently closed. But you will never know the impact until you take it. Fear will try to hold you back, whispering that it's too risky, that it's not the right time, that you're not ready. But the truth is that the perfect moment never comes. The moment becomes perfect only when you act. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. The greatest mistake you can make is believing that your move doesn't matter. Every revolution, every victory, every breakthrough began with one action that changed the course of the game. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, step forward with boldness and make the move that others won't. The world doesn't remember those who stood still. It remembers those who dared to act. Your move might just be the one that changes everything. Your move can change the game if you have the courage to make it. So remember this: power is not reserved for the chosen few. It belongs to those who dare to act. It belongs to those who choose discipline over doubt, who turn pressure into strength, who fight for respect, who rise as the underdog, and who are bold enough to make the move that changes the game. India has proven it on the world stage, and now it is your turn to prove it in your own life. The world will doubt you, underestimate you, and test you, but none of that matters. What matters is what you decide to do. One move, one choice, one act of courage. That is all it takes to shock the world. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for permission. The time is now. Make your move and change the game forever.